I need your advice regarding Kenmore Dehumidifier problems.
Kenmore had to recall close to 1 million dehumidifiers in 2013, because some were catching fire.
And I used to think the worst thing about the basement was the cold, clammy feeling.
There were around 100 reports of fires in 2012, prompting a recall of the 35 to 70 pint dehumidifiers built between 2003 and 2005.
I'm glad to know that's not a problem for me. I bought the dehumidifier well after then.
Sometimes the first thing to look at is the control board.
If that's dead or rusted, I know the solution: a new dehumidifier, because replacing that costs as much as a new unit.
I meant looking at the error codes on the control board. For example, E1 or F1 is the error for the humidity sensor malfunction.
How do I fix that?
You could unplug the unit and plug it back in to see if that resets the control board. You can also look at the control board and see if the wiring is secure.
If I'm insecure about it, I'm dumping the whole unit, because asking someone to replace the humidity sensor is almost as expensive as the control board.
Depending on the model, the error for the evaporator coil thermistor malfunction is E2, F2 or ES.
They certainly all look the same under a flashlight in a damn basement.
That sensor monitors the evaporator coil's temperature. First replace the sensor, and if that does not work, replace the control board or the whole unit, whatever you prefer.
What does P1 mean?
That means the dehumidifier is defrosting. If the basement is below 60, that's normal, because they freeze around that point, but if the room is warmer and it is defrosting, you either have insufficient airflow or too much refrigerant leaking out.
I can move the dehumidifier out of the corner if it helps reduce the water on the walls, but I have no idea how to fix a refrigerant leak.
A dehumidifier is essentially a little air conditioner, but designed to remove the condensate from the air instead of sending cold air into the room. If the refrigerant leaks from the coils or compressor, it will eventually stop working.
How do I keep it working?
You have to fix the coil, which in a unit that size costs almost as much as the unit new, and add new refrigerant to get it working again.
You have to pay a professional to put refrigerant in the house AC, because of environmental regulations.
And it is hard to find a local appliance repairman authorized to do the same, which is why there are so few dehumidifier repair people. Short of shipping the thing to one of their authorized repair centers.
I'd rather ship it to the curb for trash pickup,